Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Fly Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and I am doing another viewer request flight today. This is the one I talked about doing at the end of the last episode, but the episode had run a little bit long, and I'd realized partway through setting up the flight that the request, which came from @NowhereSUI on the Twitters, thank you very much for this flight recommendation, by the way. This looks like it's going to be amazing, but I believe had the incorrect airport code for Basle, or Basle, which is where we're going to be starting from here. And this feels a lot more correct. When I went and punched this in, the distances on the map looked much more appropriate for what Nowhere seems to be asking for me to do here. So hopefully we got it right. Either way, it should be gorgeous, because we are flying around Switzerland. Man, it's almost like I timed that properly. That was weird. So as you can see, we changed our airplane around here. It's a Beechcraft Bonanza. Promises pretty high speeds. I think it's got a cruising speed of 150 knots, which is pretty good for these single prop planes. It's not a turbo prop or anything like that. We've got more or less fully glass cockpit. We could probably say something to that effect. Let's go and toggle this and that off just so that we can see a little bit better. And I would like the pitot heat on. Seems like a good default idea for us to go ahead and do that. So, what Nowhere requested is take off from Basle Airport. This is Basle Mulhouse. I'm really hoping it's the right one, but it's darn close. And then says fly 102, heading 127 for 12 nautical miles over his hometown. So let's start with that. Now let me go and put in a bit of a heading bug here. What was it? 127. Scroll, or I could just hold down the button, I suppose. And now that I'm close, I'm just going to click 127 heading over there. Okay, so we're just going to do a slight left turn once we take off. I don't know if you can put a marker or track a distance. I guess if I set a distance marker, if I tune my radio to wherever we are now, that would be one way of doing it. But I think I might. We're going over there, so very close. We've got some other flights in the air while we're at it. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that. Control dot, our flaps are up. We'll just go ahead and hit full throttle here. This should be a lot simpler. You can see there's a lot of sun glare. This is with real weather, real time. Oh, over RPMing a little bit. Can we, oh yeah, we can feather the prop a little. I'll just, pull back a little on the throttle. There we go. Still wants to over RPM. I don't think I've got keys bound for my my prop and things. I'm not going to worry about it. Well, first of all, I can almost certainly rotate here. Let's pitch up. Oh, we're pitching up very aggressively. And we'll make a left turn immediately. Let's go outside so we can actually see a little bit of what's going on. Now, does this have... Oh, it does have retractable gear. Oh! Very styling. Love it. I'm way too low to be doing this, but shh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell the airplane cops. Just coming around here to a 127, and all right, thanks. Tower Beechcraft Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf, continue for south departure. Right over the terminal. This seems like a pretty big airport. And that's probably the main sort of passenger terminal itself, but there's still a lot going on here. Trying to aim straight some more. Our 127 heading. This might be the town that Nowhere was asking about. Right over here. So presumably this is Basle, or Basle, or however it's supposed to be pronounced. The airport is what? Basle Mulhouse? Yeah, I don't know. All right, so we're holding steady about 93 knots and climbing. Maybe not as quickly as we'd want. Okay, first let's bring the flaps in. Increase our airspeed. Vertical speed is flattening out for a second, but as the airspeed continues to climb a little, there we go. We are ascending. You know, it's not climbing as much as I'd like. I'm probably on just too aggressive of a profile here, not giving us enough time to build up some speed. There we go. Climbing slowly, and the airspeed is increasing ever so slightly. And stalling at about 115, but it should be okay. We got a big old river here. Solid frequency change. Now leave me alone. Well, we're definitely in Europe. When you see building blocks like this, everything just smushed together, one building after another, into these squares, and with these nice little courtyards in between these blocks of buildings. I think that is just absolutely lovely. Like, it is interesting, because, like, in Europe, when you compare Europe to North America, the big difference is space and how much there is of it. So everything in Europe tends to be smushed together a lot more aggressively, because there's not as much space. The cities are older, and things keep getting packed in, and it's just a much more sort of pedestrian and bike-friendly lifestyle, right? It's not built around the car, so everything is closer packed in different ways. But the fact that, like, the green spaces inside all these little building blocks and things is such a key part of just, no, this is of course the way it works, like, don't be silly, is a really wonderful thing. What's my actual, yeah, well, probably can go ahead and nose down some. Let's do that. And yeah, the RPM's a little on the high side. I can mouse wheel this down. I think I still have auto mixture on, although I'm not sure that's really going. And now I should be able to just be full throttle, because I think that's normally a little bit more what you do. You control the RPM with the prop pitch, and then you can more or less full throttle, I think, a lot on these guys. Okay, I have to trim down a little bit. Trim, 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 trim. So again, this indicator still doesn't... Oh, no, it does! It is changing! Okay, you can see the percentage change. Keep expecting more of a visual sort of indicator that stuff is going on. But alright, I'm descending now, but probably that's going to balance out. Yeah, as we get our airspeed up, I suspect that's going to be okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make the right turn to about a 225 heading, which I was already drifting towards. I mean, I hope your town wasn't further away here. I'm not, I didn't correctly set ourselves up to measure distances. XTK nautical miles. I wonder what that means. XTK. Things I should probably know. Is that how far off of a purple line we are? I don't know. So, I don't know. I'm not too concerned with meeting up on the course again, although it looks like that's probably what's going to end up happening here. Which seems pretty groovy. Didn't do anything with the lighting. The gears are up. The flaps are up. Not too worried about the lighting itself. Again, we're not really here to follow... We're not here to follow rules. Rules are meant to be broken. Wait, that's the opposite of what rules are there for. Could have changed the tail number. Would have shown up instead of... is it Asabo? What's the company behind this? I never remember. It's like, starts with an A, it's got S's and some O's in there, and... I don't know. It's got a few letters. I feel bad, because they've done such a great job, and I just have such a hard time remembering their name. Look at the hills back there. Oh, look at how sharp this ridge is. Actually, sort of here too. Hold on a sec. Hold on to your drinks, because we're banking here. Oh. Bring around to the other side. Oh. Oh, that's pretty. Print screen. Screenshot all the things. Oh, and there's a little town in the valley over here. Oh, sweet. Now this is going to make me look up a bunch of stuff on this area on Google Maps to know more about the significance of things. This looks like a place you'd grow wine. Is there much of a Swiss wine industry? Might be a little too high up in the hills. Because, like, hilly terrain tends to be good for a lot of wines. Because you sort of get, like a lot of water runoff on one side of the sort of mountainous terrain. Doubly so if you've got any volcanic soil left over. Some warehouses here. Is this a rail line? No, it's car traffic. And then, is this river? Oh no, those are rail lines. Ahaha. Okay. Wonder if I can play this area in Train Simulator. Which is not as fun as Flight Simulator. Let's be honest here. Train Simulator, it is interesting that it exists and that it's got a shocking amount of detail. But it's not the same. This is, like, gorgeous to the extreme. Gorgeous to the extreme. I love this farmland just being hugged. Just being hugged by these little villages around here. Wow, I don't know if villages is accurate. It's hard to tell the sort of size and scope of some of these towns. And it's like, okay, how high off the ground am I? Okay, how big are these houses? Okay, what do I think the population is here? No clue. This is very picturesque. Nowhere, I gotta give it to you, this is a gorgeous area to fly in. This must be a gorgeous area to live in. we're going vaguely over here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, my. Oh, this is just... It's just too for words. Oh, look at this. Screen. Look at the bloom on the plane from the sun as we change angles. There it is. Oh, look at the ridge of lighting over here. Look at this. I guess it's part of the sort of sun halo kind of effect. But it looked like it was around our plane. Oh, now there's a small village right here. Half it up on these hills. Oh my god! It's so pretty! It's so pretty! Yeah, every time I change view like that, it's because I've got to take a screenshot. Deal with it. Oh my gosh. I want to live here. Just nestled between these... I want to live anywhere you could describe as being nestled by something. Oh. Oh, and there's some houses over here. Hold on. Wait. Oh. Angle of attack. Angle of attack. Angle of attack. Okay, no, we're good. Is this like a house? Oh. Can I live here? Don't crash. There's a lot of hills here. And these, you know, looking backwards and hand off the joystick isn't... Oh my god. Okay, 10 out of 10 for this flight. Oh my god. 10 out of frickin' 10. Ha 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 ha! Oh, it's gonna be hard to compete with this flight. It's gonna be real hard to compete with this flight. So what's next on my list, actually? Because we have to make a switch over here. On a sec. I gotta load up. This is hard to do while I'm still trying to not crash the plane here. I'm gonna go to one of the older emails that I got. And... we got a request to fly over Portland, Maine. I can do that. Oh, God. You're never going to compete with this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just never going to happen. Wait. Oh, my God. Yep. It's never... I'm sorry. It's never going to happen. You're never going to compete with it. But we're going to go to Portland, Maine anyway. Oh, that's too pretty. Yeah, I may actually add that flight that was recommended to just one of my list of just sort of go-to flights in general. It's like the one from Manitou and Sudbury that I do all the time. So, KSFM? My flight training airport, KSFM. So is this actually near Portland? Well, that looks about right. That looks like probably Maine area. I don't know, could be. Tell you what, rather than start right at the airport, I'm gonna set, there you go. So we're gonna start in the air above the airport. We'll save a little bit of time. Theoretically, it should still be live weather and live time, because I think I did set that back, right? Yeah, we're back on live weather, I think. That's what I set up for the start of the flight. I hope so. Either that or we're on few clouds. I'll double check once we get in, because of course we can tweak the weather we want whenever we want. That's one of the strongest things. There's a couple of UI things that are still niggling to me. Of course, this is a press preview edition. Might be things that are incomplete, buggy, might crash. We also might crash. But generally speaking, there's a lot, like, it's really great. There's a couple of UI things that are little, they seem missing. Like, when I use the, when I change the sim rate, you know, to accelerate time, as far as I can tell, there's no on-screen feedback about that, which seems a little weird, mostly because, like, how do I reset it back to normal time? Because I don't think there's a hotkey for that. I'm not sure. But yeah, but they're fairly far and few in between. It'll be interesting to see if those things are settled by release or not. Oh, can I open this window? No, there doesn't seem to be a quick spot for it. Well, that's too bad. All right, so we're here. I suppose what I should have done is actually check, hey, what direction is Maine in? Hold on. Let me open up my mapping app. Are we descending? No, we're climbing. Very slowly, but we're climbing. Okay, good. No. Yes, Sanford Seacoast Regional Airport. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Where's Portland? Portland is to the north. North. Oh, we're going north. North all the way. So Portland, well, more east actually, is going to be somewhere over here. Does it have an airport? Hold on, I gotta bring up well, I suppose I could just head to the coast and then go north. Okay, so this over here is Old Orchard Beach. So where this plane is here, I think that's Portland. Okay, right over there. So anyway, we'll fly northeast and go to work on that. Hey, it's the northeast. It's got trees everywhere. It feels like I'm in Ontario. Flaps are up. Yes, they are. Speed is quite high. We are climbing. We could probably pitch up a little bit more. Although right now I'll just focus on trying to finish my roll a wee bit. Okay. So yeah, right over here is where we're heading. So, I think there's a little bit of wind. Force me over to the right again. Yeah, live weather. Can I find... Okay, nearest airport list. Sure. Can I get an ATIS? No, it's just traffic. Can I get a proper airport? I don't know if any of these are... What sounds big? Portland International Jetport. Sounds big. Hey, some ATIS. Oh, now I'm going too far east. No, there's basically no wind. I don't know. It's doing that thing again where it's got a pretty aggressive left roll. It's not... Yeah, the trim's good. We're a little over RPM here. Oh! Because I'm at full prop. Let me pull back on that a scooch. I don't think it's like engine torque. Like, it's just... Yeah, so every time I let go... So I'm straight. I'm gonna let go. Yeah, it goes into a pretty beefy left-hand roll. I don't know. Let's get a little higher up off the ground. I don't know what my my optimal climb speed is here. Let's drop our speed down to around 140, maybe 130. Oh, that's pitching up really aggressively. I do know that one of the things with this flight model here, that some people are reporting, and some people who are used to the older Microsoft flight model, especially in these general aviation planes, are like, something feels weird and off. And apparently it mostly comes down to, it's actually a fairly bit more realistic in terms of, wow, we keep bobbing up and down. Like, watch the vertical speed. It feels like we sort of float and then start to come down again. Well, something is a little weird here. These mid-air starts do seem to be a little bit off sometimes. Oh, we've got a little ways to go. Well, you know what? This might be a good time to put on some speed stuff. Let me hit the autopilot. Oh, wait. Were you already on? Was I fighting this? Because now you're on level and autopilot. But I thought it already said it. We might have started the flight with autopilot on. I may have been fighting the autopilot this whole time. That might explain a couple of things. Heading bug. Oops! Don't zoom me out, please. Don't do this either. Thank you. Let's go at, I don't know, 45, something like that. Pure northeast. Put it in there, and so go heading mode. Vertical speed is on. And I'll set a target altitude of, I don't know, 5,000 feet. I don't want to climb much. Yeah, maybe we'll do 6,000. I don't want to climb much, but I do want to climb some. Pitot heat is off. Let's go. That was down here, wasn't it? There it is. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. Ooh, river. Ooh, very windy river. As we know, the windier the river, the longer it's been around. Ooh, there's a town over there. I wonder if there's a way... I mean, there's the ISO line map. Oh, actually, I've got to go further east. Okay. I wonder if there's a way to get, like, town markers on this map or something like that. I mean, I guess you don't really need to. Let me just tweak the heading. Go on, Can I mouse from here? Oh, I can! I'm always trying to go to, like, the click point. Like, so here, if I click here, it'll turn it. So I keep trying to mouse over here, but it's right on the edge, and as the camera shakes, it moves. But I can just mouse over the middle of this. There you go, 60 degrees. And I like that you can push it to just link to your current heading. That's really, really handy-dandy. So welcome to Maine. It's pretty plain. This is a pretty plain as well. Although not as pretty as the DA 62. God, I love that thing. Mostly it's the blue part of it that I think is just really, really sexy. I think it's sexy inside, too. Okay, we've dropped all the way down to 100. I think our ascent is a little aggressive here, so I'm going to put our vertical speed down to maybe about 500. That should help. Oh, look how bumpy things are. I mean, we are in... I mean, it's pretty clear, but there's definitely some choppy air here. We might be hitting, like... Oh, my God, look at that. We might be hitting some, like, a couple of different wind things. Look at the tree line change here in a line. I wonder if that has to do with... Well, I was going to say satellite imagery passes, but a lot of the higher detail stuff on Google Maps or Bing Maps or whatever isn't actually satellite imagery. It's actually photography from airplanes, which is why it's so high res. I'm wondering if this was done on a separate pass at some point, different time of year. That's entirely possible. So I'm guessing Portland's over there, is what I'm thinking. Yeah. Let's swing even further to the east and see what we can see. We should definitely be getting in there. We're closing in on 5,000. The chop. I don't know if this is chop or if this is the autopilot having problems trimming. All I could tell you is that my passengers would be getting awfully sick here. Turn off the autopilot. Keep the flight director on, though. Yeah, I think it's the autopilot. Like, here, I'm just going to hands off here. Totally hands off. Yeah, it's not wind. It was the autopilot was having difficulty. Oh, there's a big airfield. Or at least it looks like to me. Not this one. Not Super Cub Field. Which, if I squint, I can sort of maybe make it out. But barely. It almost looks like, excuse me, just like a dirt field. But this feels like a pretty significant airport. Excuse me, apparently I'm going to die. Okay, I'm fine. Okay. Yeah, I think the autopilot was having a bit of an issue. It might have been just the particular climb rate and particular airspeed we happened to be going at. It was having a hard time finding the sweet spot. It's potentially the PID controller was just slightly badly tuned, so we were getting that oscillation. PID controller is a programming thing that basically just it's a little simple, very simple algorithm to try to narrow down on a value. And if the variables you pump into it aren't tuned quite right, you can see this sometimes as it keeps overshooting the sweet spot. So you can undertune it so it has a hard time getting to the sweet spot quickly enough to react to changes. It's a balancing act, really, to try to be responsive but not overshoot too much. Oh, we've got some scenery fading in here. Got a couple of bridges. I know there's still no indicator. I guess it must be this. KPWM? Must be what we're flying over, but it's odd to me that, because we must be close enough. But there's no pop-up. Aww. I'm filled with sadness. Okay, not really, but, you know. Now, is it just me, or does it look like a little bit that this is underwater? I think we may have found another road that's not quite mapped level properly. I think we got a couple interesting requests from people in the Netherlands, as well as I think in Denmark, with some places to check out because it's like fairly flat, and they were curious about some of these waterways and bridges and things, which seems to be like one of the stress tests in there. I like the color of the planes here. You can really spot them. Did one of them just change colors? Maybe there was only green on one side. Because wasn't it yellow and green? I can still see a little bit. Oh, there you go. I think it's just different, like, higher detail models popping in and out, basically. And no, this road is fine. From an angle or from a distance, it looked a little not quite right. It is interesting that, like... so there's a bridge, but, like, most of it, they just pushed the land out. Because, I mean, that's cheaper and safer and more reliable. But then we're like, well, we still have to let some boats through, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, I think this is a rail line that is going under the water incorrectly. So there's a bit of that going on. Excuse me, I have a little something caught in my throat, apparently. I'm fine, don't worry. I never leave the house. Never leave the house, you know, even before all this, so don't worry, there's nothing crazy going on. Yeah, I've never been to Portland, I've never been to Maine, I don't think. No, I don't think I would have. I've driven through the U.S. a few different times, but never this far east and north. I think the most northerly point I ever saw the coast, or the east coast of the U.S., was probably in South Carolina. So we're really not all that northerly in the first place. Sports, 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 sports. Well, if any of you are from Portland, I don't know if you can see your house from here. Oh, there it is. Portland International Jetport. Jetport is a cool name. I give it a 10 out of 10, by the way. Is that just Eric's Field? With a capital S for the possessive? Feels like something like a 12-year-old would claim. Not a 12-year-old, an 8-year-old. With crayon. Eric's Field. I should check out that Super Cub and see if it really is just a dirt landing spot, a dirt strip. Where is it? It was directly, well, somewhat directly west of the Jetport, right? I think so. That sounds like something that was named in like the 50s. All right, we got to make ours sound really awesome. Okay, you know what sounds awesome? Just jet, just everything being jet. Like, yes, it sounds great. And then the 80s comes along, it's like everything cool becomes turbo. You know, turbochargers and things like that start to become more of a thing, and they're like, no, we're just gonna put the word turbo in front of everything, and it's gonna sound amazing. Like, you know, turbo means it's like a turbine. No, shut up. It just means awesome. That's all it means. Like, not technically, that's not shut up. It just means awesome. Okay. The 80s, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you out there may have lived through it. I did. I wasn't particularly versed in pop culture at the time. I like discovered 80s music, like, you know, in my 20s and 30s, basically, is the way it worked. Okay, we're gonna probably overspeed a lot here. As I come down on Super Cub Field, I still don't really see the field. Is this? Like, is that even a landing strip? Well, shit, we gotta try. Alright. Throttle to minimum. Alright, back up a little. Flaps out. Flaps one. There it goes. It's going to be, like, nearly impossible for me to spot that. Roughly straighten out, do a poor job. Give ourselves a little bit more breathing space behind us. I'm not going to line myself properly. I'm going to totally violate the airspace of the Jetport. Alright, let's bring it up to speed. Let's turn around. I have no idea what the alignment should be for this. That's not an airport. It's not anything. Where is it? There it is. Like, I think we're still close enough to get the indicator. Okay. Oh, alright. Come over here. I think we're vaguely lining ourselves up. Maybe a little too much. 500. Gear down. Full flaps. I mean, this is not a very good landing in the first place, but it's not a landing strip. Unless it just literally is just a field that some people land in. And I'm thinking that's way more what it is. And it's like, it technically shows up as a place where you can land. Alright, well, we may have cut that a little short. Trying not to hit the buildings. I think, you know what, in hindsight, I think, like, this may be more, like, just the grass landing? I gotta look this place up. Super Cub Field. We've arrived. Folks, thanks for watching another video. I still have, again, over 200 just emails, let alone Twitter messages, Facebook comments, and YouTube comments with requests for flights. I'm really happy to have gotten a bunch of suggestions because it's going to let me really mix up my flights in really interesting ways and discover stuff like this. Super Cub Field. You're the jet port. Jet port. Oh, man. Good stuff. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.